sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, this is Ripper. You guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun video. Now we're talking about Unbreakable Line. Yes, the day has finally come. We are with the new update that just released today. Unbreakable Line. Also, asymmetric battles is back. Absolutely fantastic. This is the way World of Warships was supposed to be. Let's dive into it. What are the best ships to play? And we'll just focus on Unbreakable Line here. Otherwise, we'll do another video with asymmetric. But man, I think Unbreakable Line is the one. But as always, before we begin, like, subscribe, bell button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. If you see value in what we're doing here today, smash those buttons, leave a comment. Thanks for stopping by, and have a fun and have a blast about learning how to say ships, shoot ships, and make friends at the same time, while we're always learning something at the while we're watching these videos. So as always, thank you very much, guys. This is a fun game now. The biggest difference is no carriers and subs, right? I mean, if anything, there's no carriers and submarines. I mean, that's the biggest thing, which is what I began World of Warships when back in the day when it was released. It was not there in the sense, and I just played it, and it's really enjoyable without being hunted by submarines and carriers and so forth. The anti-ship weapon system game, which this is not, you know, what is it called? Silent Hunter, or this is not Flight Simulator or RTS strategy simulations. We're not playing that. We're playing World of Warships, literally ships going out there, duking it out, shooting, just like Call of Duty and Battlefield, where you're actually going out there and respawning, going in and completing objectives, and for once, you're actually going after objectives. If you notice right off the bat, what are the rules, the parameters? One, the captain's skills don't really work, so it kind of evens the playing field out. Two is you have objectives in the center. Domination is the only game mode, I believe, right now, and I think that is what the game was surrounded by, domination, right? And of course, you get limited consumables. Basically, what you start was what you get, and you can respawn. You come back in with extra speed, extra concealment, and for a short period of time. Right off the bat here, engaging the vampire, eliminating the destroyers as always. Again, same strategy. Eliminate the destroyers right off the bat. Gives you a little bit slight of advantage of winning here, and then he's dead. Don't worry, he'll be back in the game. So I normally don't want to throw away my ship like that, but you know, it doesn't hurt you in the sense, because guess what? You're coming back in. Your team actually, it kind of motivates your team to move in. He's spotting people. He capped the point. But now, look, it's not about capping the point right off the bat. It's about holding it, right? All right, here we go. We got AP loaded right here, firing against the Haragumo. Again, non-stop action here. You're just looking for targets. It's almost like you're dizzying, because you got to figure out which target is the priority and how do we engage. And then once we cap both points, whoever reaches 1,000 points or gets to, it doesn't matter if you lose all your ships. You can't really lose all your ships. You're really just non-stop engaging. You're really just trying to shoot as many ships as possible to rack up the points, just like in other games. You really are just either racking up points by kills, racking up points by objectives, and not just having blowouts in in-games like that, which is boring, or going around hunting the map for a submarine that's literally underwater the whole time. This is what World of Warships is supposed to be. Golden Love, I'm not sure why you're running away, but okay. Again, this rewards you. If you run away, then the people that are holding the caps are literally just going to win the game that way. All right, so what are the things that we noticed about? I'll make a case for why Unbreakable Line should be a permanent game mode in this this game. I think World of Wargaming, you should really encourage yourself to keep this game mode in. Again, you can still have random, so you know, anyone that has the argument that this game mode sucks, that's fine. You can still play randoms. No one says you have to, but this is why they should. This is what World of Warships should lean towards: is this respawn mode, no carriers sub main gameplay. Because, and now I'll make an argument that this is not competitive. It's still competitive, because why? You are still trying to figure out how to move and position your ships to mitigate fire. I mean, the whole idea is not to throw away your ship still, right? If you can stay alive the longest, that is the that is a key component of winning the game. A lot of people keep saying, well, it just makes a stupid gameplay. There's already stupid gameplay in randoms. People hanging out on the A line, the B line, in reverse, hiding away, and not engaging in the game. So you can't really make an argument for that. Number two is people are throwing away their ships. Not necessarily, because you don't have to. You can still try to stay alive and be competitive in that way. So, yes, you can hit W key, and I see a lot more players doing that. But unfortunately, I still think people are thinking that, oh, well, I'm not supposed to drive in, or if I drive in, I'll die. No, man, well, guess what? Even if you did either one of those, you can still respawn and come back in the game. I think that's the biggest key component of the game, is the fact that you can respawn, try something else, you can still play competitive, you can still maneuver, you can still position, you can still use your ship's advantages and skills and tactics and techniques to your gameplay. I mean, what's your argument in randoms? You're saying randoms is a better solution while you have carriers of sub hunting you? So again, I think this is going back to the basics here, going back to the bread and butter of World of Warships, which is artillery gameplay with ships and destroyers and cruisers and battleships and so forth. Brawling is back. My goodness, battleships are actually being engaged and used. We'll take a look at some other battleships that are going to be used in the game, which one I think is the best. They actually kind of make a comeback. And again, it's none of this sniping gameplay anymore where you're just sitting in the back hoping like you hit something. And yeah, you could do that in Unbreakable Line, but unfortunately, I don't think it is as effective. And you're really just not you can snipe guys and take them off the map, but I don't think they're as, unless you enjoy that, I don't think it's as enjoyable. If you find that enjoyable, sitting in the back of the map and sniping, then maybe randoms is for you. And you want to snipe carriers, randoms is for you. But again, I think having the Unbreakable Line back in here is very, very awesome, very engaging, very fun. I was literally like head on a swivel, left, looking. You're actually looking at your surroundings more, figure out what island cover is there, which ship is coming at you, which one is a threat, which one's not a threat, prioritizing which targets to shoot at, working together, focus firing. It encompasses everything that you would want in a World of Warships game, because there actually is somewhat strategy. There actually is focusing fire. There actually is target priority. There's actually drive-bys and brawling and actual torpedo runs. Things that you don't necessarily see as much anymore in randoms, where I've noticed the majority of the games in randoms are either blowouts, people throwing away their ships. Still, people throw away their ships in randoms. People are W-keying in and dying, okay, so they die. Guess what? You can come back in Unbreakable Line if you make a mistake. And then, of course, you also have the problem of people sitting in the back not doing anything. Carriers, spotting, subs, and so forth. But look at this torpedo run right here on the Petro. We win the game by holding the center of the cap. A destroyer is still a key component of the game. Look at that right there. A lot of fun, a lot of head on the swivel. I think Daring is actually one of the best destroyers in this mode for the smoke, quick smokes, great caliber guns, reload rate, and so forth, torpedoes, everything you need in a destroyer. So that is Daring. I think that's really enjoyable. Let's take a look at a couple battleships here. If you're a battleship player, guess what? You're going to make your comeback now, because battleship brawling is back. You get to try out all different types of builds, and if you like secondaries, which I do, let's take a look at it and which one survives better. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Tier 10 Schlieffen, ladies and gents. Yes, and in Unbreakable Line, the Schlieffen is back. I really have seen a lot of drop-off of people playing the Schlieffen. I haven't seen many people playing it as much anymore. Maybe because the meta of today in randoms, it just doesn't survive as well, especially with the amount of firepower that's out there. But really, I think Schlieffen is probably the dominant ship again. And what this mode provides. Man, oh my goodness. As you can see, 79,000 HP is not the greatest at tier 10, but that's probably why it suffered a lot in randoms. But man, oh man, does it actually really, really shine in this game. You're going to see some incredible action right here in the Schlieffen in the background. The reason why I like it so much is because of the secondaries. The secondaries really melt with IFHE. You are literally penning more. That you've passed the 32mm threshold and are just melting. Those American battleships, those other cruisers, especially destroyers, you're just taking them out. And I think it really shines because it's just a literal machine gun platform that just mows everybody down. It has a decent survivability in the sense it has the quick damage cons and so standard heal. Yeah, but really what this thing does is brawl. It's got the torpedoes that go out to 13.5 kilometers by the way. Good for long range, but also great for the close range engagement in battles. It's got the hydro to detect other ships, or you just kind of screen for torpedoes. But man, oh man, it is so fun. All right, so we're engaging the Illinois right off the bat here. We've got a major bulk of the force. See, again, here's the strategy. What do you do in this situation? That's why I argue with people to say there's no strategy anymore. It's like, absolutely, you're not brain dead. You still got to figure out, okay, which is the priority? I have to disengage Illinois right now, keep my secondaries on him while also focusing on secondaries on the Schlieffen on the right here, and then I got to make sure he's going full broadside. So a lot more broadside shots these days. So again, not as much as I see in randoms. I see a lot of these opportunities to practice your aiming, practice shooting broadsides, practice firing on cruisers and battleships, especially getting all your guns to bear. I mean, right here, you got to figure out, okay, who do I need to prioritize and engage? Schlieffen right here, Scion Warrior, is pushing full throttle into the cap. Although Valiant's strategy may not be the best solution at that point, but look, he is blasting right through everybody, unafraid, and actually that it promotes. You normally wouldn't see that in randoms, but my goodness, I see it all the time in Unbreakable Line. It is making it fun. Guess what? He comes back in the game in the back at a faster speed, better concealment, and guess what? He's back in the game to go and brawl again. But they kind of randomly put you at different locations, so you may not be starting at the same point. So, like I said, see the Schlieffen up there? He's now on the other side of the map, and he'll be... it takes a little while for him to position, but that is another beautiful thing. If you think that, oh, the satisfying effect of killing somebody, just like in randoms, in ranked or competitive, it's the same way here. Noting that you killed somebody and sending them to the back of the arena to let them start over and take that long drive in is still kind of satisfying because you did it and you caused a nature of the game to be tilted in your favor. So again, you can think of it that way. It's just a matter of perspective and enjoyment. But again, if you don't like this mode, keep playing randoms, keep getting shot up by carriers and subs. I like this mode. It is really engaging. A lot of brawling, a lot of one-on-one 1v1s again. And look, it's me in Illinois right now. Who's going to duke it out? Who's going to win? I got full broadside showing him. Is he going to take advantage of that? No, we take him out right there. And we eliminate Illinois. We've secured the western flank. And now we are... Oh, man, we got a Petro coming in. We got to turn back around and get mitigate our exposure of broadside to him, and then work our way back into Bravo cap so that we can secure that area with our Paulo Emilio. As you can see right now, it's a very close game. Again, I like the fact that these games are more and more, I would say, close call games because they're not really blowouts, because you can't really have a blowout in Unbreakable Line because everybody's still alive. Nobody's just dead. Everybody's just not waiting around for the timer to go away. You're actually coming back in the game and trying to secure the win, which is very, very enjoyable. Randoms, I get onesie, twosies, maybe close games where you actually have to figure out, okay, it's going to be coming down to really one person carrying the team, where actually in this game mode, I'm finding like, man, everybody's working together to keep these games that are so close to tilt in your favor just by literally one action or one kill right there. As you can see, we are still neck and neck. Look at this, Cambridge on the left here, and we've got our guns ready to go. I got torpedoes if I need it, and I'm going to elect to fire right at his guns, and boom, blast him out of existence. Next set of guns on the Schlieffen. He is down right now, and now just like that, we are now securing both caps, Bravo and Alpha here. And then Petro will be hopefully taken care the enemy Petro over here will be solely taken care of by Monopoly and Hataka. And we'll see if that works. Okay, we got a Jaeger right here. We got secondaries on the Yamato. He has stopped full broadside. I don't know what you're doing over there. So you get onesie, twosie players that just still like to play this mode like randoms, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work. You really have to engage and actually sacrifice your ship or, expose your ship to enemy fire. So let's see, what are we going to do? Okay, oh, you get Jaeger on the left. We got Yamato pushing forward finally now. But let's see if we can get a Citadel. This is a great way to practice your Citadel shots as well. You can kind of gauge the water line. Where is he at? Is he turning away? Is he turning in? I aimed a little bit high right there. And we got a lot of overhands. Yep, I need to work on that. I'd say, again, I need to practice. Practicing shooting Citadels. I normally don't play battleships, so we got to work. Hey, look at that secondary kill on the Jaeger right there. All right, Yamato is behind an island. See, still using island cover. You can still do it, ladies and gents. It doesn't preclude you from actually positioning and moving your ship around. Okay, we finally died, but guess what? It's okay. We're going to come back real fast, okay? And look at that. Here we go. We're coming back in the game. This time I start in the southwestern sector. Fire HE for some reason. Don't know why. All right, again, Schlieffen secondaries, fantastic at melting American cruisers as well as battleships, so we're going to get all our guns facing him. The thing I like about the Schlieffen as well as the back turret is a 360 turret. The third turret is still normal, so you got to, one less turret to worry about when you're positioning and moving around, but it is a great nose-in brawler right here. All right, it looks like Puerto Rico is showing too much broadside. Look at those guns right there, firing right at him. Boom, right there, a couple damage on the hull. And this, we got the last gun ready to fire it here, and it is ready to go. Last shot in the air, and boom, he goes down. All right, secondaries are now focused on the Cambridge, and he is going to melt so easily. Tier 9 cruiser. I think it's the brand new cruiser with the, I think it's a Alaska guns on a Tulsa hull, I believe. I forgot. I think I just saw a video about it, but look at that. We're going to melt the crap out of him, okay? The secondaries are just going to eat him for lunch. Look, every shell is just taking damage and taking names and calling it the way we see it. We're just going to reposition here, going nose in. Gosh, Schlieffen is back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is literally the king of brawling. I think Libertad was great, but man, you're going to see that, you know, look at the amount of damage we're doing right here. We're 245,000 damage with 2.3 million potential. It's awesome. Libertad, I thought, is still the king of secondaries, but let's see here. And Cambridge goes down. I think Schlieffen actually makes a good play right here for secondary king. It might be a battle of the throne here between Libertad and Schlieffen. Who can actually outlast the other and who can outdo the other. All right, we got our gun swinging. Schlieffen on our right here. Let's see if we can take another pretty look at the Citadel. Aim. Oh, man, I should aim at the right above the waterline. Oh, we get a Citadel. Look at that, finally. Which is random RNG gets us right there. He gets a nice Citadel hit. And, oh, we got the torpedoes. Look at that. That's why I love the Schlieffen. We got the torpedoes. Libertad doesn't have torpedoes. That's why probably a downside of that. Launching a nice spread into the Petra here on the left. This is a close game. We could lose this game if we don't capture Bravo or take out a couple more ships right here. All right, he's maneuvering. He takes a torpedo hit, and we're going to aim right at his bow, and boom, blap him out of existence. There it is. 6 kills right there, ladies and gents. And hopefully we can take Bravo if my team comes back and helps me out here. And, ooh, actually, we are winning by points. So this might be the victory here. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. 6 kills, 331,000 damage. The Pain Train coming through with over 1,000 secondary hits. Fantastic brawling is back, ladies and gentlemen. Schlieffen, phenomenal. Let's take a look at the stats right there. I'm telling you, it's so fun. Let's see how we did. Number 1 on the team, good secondary ship. Makes a good play for secondary king. I think, again, Schlieffen, 200,000 damage in secondaries. Phenomenal. And, yeah, Pain Train is back. Let's take a look at another battleship that I really do enjoy. All right, here we are. Oldies but goldies, you guessed it. USS Ohio making a comeback. I'm seeing a lot more US Ohio's playing here, and it is one of my favorite battleships back in the day because of the secondary abilities. This is full secondary build, by the way. I love the secondary. American secondaries, 127mm guns on the Mark 12, Mark 8, I believe. Man, they don't do a lot of damage per se in the alpha side, but they really do start a lot of fires. Accuracy is incredible. It was the original OG secondary ships that I really did enjoy next to the GK. But man, Ohio, Massachusetts, Georgia, man, secondaries were melting destroyers left and right, as you can see right here. Lucian right there, one of my favorite destroyers as well, but unfortunately, you are just going to get melted down by the machine guns of the American 127mm. Goes down, first kill right there. And we are now going to literally brawl with the Schlieffen. So we just played the Schlieffen now, but let's see how it stacks up against the Ohio. Now, what is the great thing about the Ohio is the ability to survive. It's got 101,000 HP. That right off the bat right there, we have an HP advantage. Number 2 is it has quick heals and damage cons, which are really great for survivability. And that was kind of like what the original aspect of these ships had. It was one of the few ships that had these quick cooldowns and damage cons. Let me take a look at the stats right here. Yeah, to see the cooldown time of a heal, it's 36 seconds, and they last 28 seconds. Phenomenal. And the cooldown time is standard damage con, but man, it lasts 20 seconds. But really great. The other bread and butter of this ship is the accuracy of the main battery guns and 457mm. So 457mm guns that are 8 of them on a battleship. It was incredible back in the day, but now with the super ships and everything, you're pretty much outmatched anyways, but it still can do the amount of damage that you really do need. And you can still blap cruisers out of existence and still engage battleships with ease, and it's really enjoyable. Again, I really enjoy the Ohio. Man, if you haven't gotten it, get it. It's in the Research Bureau. If you are a battleship player, you will definitely love it. But man, oh man, look at this. We're literally sitting still here, only going quarter speed back and forth, and we are engaging and taking down the Schlieffen right there off the bat. And now we're going to engage the Prussian. Again, look, we are literally having our head on a swivel, looking left, looking right, figuring out which target's next. It's almost like non-stop gunfire. You have no idea, like, who's around the corner. You're like, what's next? You always got to look at the mini-map. You got to figure out positioning, like, who is my next target? What is my next engagement? You know, when I'm teaching a lot of, you know, when we do tactics and so on, when we're doing close air support or tactics or re-attacks, you got to think about where are you now, where are you going, and where are you going to be after the attack, so you can always keep yourself in the correct position. I think that is a thing that a lot of players are forgetting, and you got to think about that in World of Warships, because you have to realize you can't just all of a sudden charge in, and think that, oh, I'm going to kill somebody and I'll be in the right position. No, you always have to think about where am I going to be after I kill the guy and where's my next target. So again, there is a lot of strategy in Unbreakable Line, and you got to really use that. And it doesn't work as well in randoms these days because of the perma-spotting, submarines, people not following orders or doing things, working together, and we killed a Prussian right there with the secondaries. And you're doing a lot more engagement and brawling. You notice we're dealing a lot of damage. We're tanking a lot of damage. I'm in the 1 to 2 to 3 million potential damage. So we're doing all our parts as a battleship, which I think a lot of players are not doing in randoms. They're like sitting in the back. They're not tanking. They're not shooting. They're not engaging. They're not using secondaries. They're not capping. They're not. A lot of things they're not doing, right? So I still make the argument that this can be a competitive mode in the sense because this is 7 versus 7, similar to clan battles. Clan battles is a competitive mode. It's 7 versus 7. You're kind of having it in this as well, so you could argue that you're not getting that 12 versus 12, which makes this a little bit more competitive because now you can focus a little bit more on one-on-one, a little bit more positioning, a lot of more kind of figure out, well, how do I angle, how do I use my guns. So again, another play and argument for the Unbreakable Line is the way World of Warships is supposed to be, that it can be a competitive, it can be effective, it can be engaging and fun. Excuse me. But then again, you can still play random. So you like getting shot up by carriers and cruisers and want to have only one life to live? Fantastic. You can still do that in Unbreakable Line. Look, I'm trying to survive here, like in randoms. I'm trying to keep my ship alive as opposed to just wanting to randomly drive in and die and throw my ship away. You can do that as well. It gives you options. I've always said if you have options like a buffet, you're going to take it and do the game like you want it to because that's what this is, right? It's a game. It's for enjoyment, and you're supposed to have fun. And that's the thing I love about World of Warships is there to try out new techniques and tactics and try to have fun. So right off the bat here, we die. We were back in the game, right off in the action. Immediately, we're in the engagement zone with Wisconsin right there. We got secondaries focused on him. And then we're going to get our guns 457 millimeters. And this is also practicing how to shoot over hills, how to get good angling, how to get good shots. Look at that. I can't even see his hull. I just kind of guesstimate where is his citadel. And there it is, 9,000 there. Look up and kind of guesstimate where's the silhouette at. And do we seal the deal? Boom, there it is. Look at that. Still making kills. That's splash 5 right there, ladies and gents. 229,000 damage. Look at the amount of secondaries we're racking up. 500 secondary hits, 2.9 potential damage, and 10 fires started. That is incredible. Okay, I'm telling you, the Ohio is amazing. 101,000 damage coming back in the fight right here. And let's see if we can get... we got Napoli on our 1 o'clock. We got Izumo on our right, 3 o'clock here. So we're going to have to engage him first. We've got the secondaries focused on Napoli. Get some fires going on him. Get some damage. And ouch, we take a major hit right there. Dang, who is shooting from the left there? See, again, you got to also keep in mind who is shooting from all directions here. We got the Schlieffen on our 11 o'clock. And look at that. We're taking massive hits. Everybody's shooting at us right now. Prussian, Schlieffen shooting at us, but we're still tanking damage. We get a nice broadside shot right there, and we get bupkis right there. Man, how do you overpin on that one? I don't understand that one. He must have a really, really thin hull, and we're so close. Let's see if we can outlast this Izumo right here. Notice that we have the Napoli on our left. We have Izumo on our right. All guns are firing, brawling like crazy, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what Warships is supposed to be. If only we could make this cinematic. And bupkis. Boom, he goes down. 281,000 damage, 6 kills right there. And now we got secondaries focus on the Schlieffen on our left. Napoli was taken out by our friendlies. Very, very good there. Oh, now we got Lucian back in the action. We'll get our secondaries focused on him. Man, it's almost like figuring out which target to shoot at first. We have so many targets to shoot at. This is why it's so much fun. It's not like I'm sailing around trying to hit a target underwater. No more fishing for submarines. We are now actually an engaging part of this game. Look at that secondary right there. Secondaries are machine guns right here. Getting the Lucian as much as we can. The accuracy on the Ohio secondaries is incredible. I love the dispersion on it. One of my favorite secondary battleships to play. And here we go. Look at all those shells being hit. And boom, he goes down. Lucian, that is splash 7. Almost 300,000 damage, ladies and gents. Let's see if we can cross that mark. We've got 6 kills. I got to hold and take Bravo cap here. See, I'm capping as a battleship. I'm acting like a destroyer for once in the battleship here. So let's see if we can survive it. We're out of heals, so that's the downside. We do not get you don't get a replenishment of heals when you die. What you start with in the game is what you got, and you got to figure out what strategy is. Do I want to save them for the long game? Do I want to use them at the beginning of the game? So a lot of thinking about what do I have to do in order to survive the onslaught of this battle. So there is still strategy here. You still got to figure out How do I manage the ship, and how do I keep it going? Napoli coming at us, and ooh, we get one shot off, but we get nailed by the Wisconsin behind. They're coming around the island there. Good shot on his part. And let's see if we can get back in the game in time to save this. We crossed the 309,000 mark right there. This might be a loss here. If we can't take Alpha, then we're going to have to take Bravo to even out the game or kill some ships. So let's see if we can push back in right here. Shot. Okay, we got an engagement with the Schlieffen on our left here with Napoli on our bow. So let's take on the Schlieffen here first, and let's see if we can get the secondaries rocking and rolling on him. Unfortunately, I don't think we can kill this guy fast enough with the amount of time we have left. They only got a minute left in the game, and they are leading by a great deal of points here. Unless the points on the top are backwards, I always forget. Okay, practicing my broadside shots here. So we got broadside Schlieffen. We got only front two turrets. Look at that, 11,000 damage. Very nice. A waterline shot right here, right there. Let's see if we can get a nice citadel shot. Ouch. Overpans. My goodness. I didn't think you can overpan at these closer ranges. Okay, we lose our Yamato, which I don't think that helps us out a lot. Let's see if we can take out Napoli right here. Yeah, I don't think we can win this one. I think the score is backwards. We are losing by 200 points, and there's only 25 seconds left in the game, so this might be a loss, ladies and gentlemen. But look at what we did there. 347,000 damage. Holy crap, we were tanking like a champ. We were the juggernaut in this thing, okay? Napoli goes down, but unfortunately not enough to secure the victory right there. 5.3 million potential damage. Holy crap. Yep, unfortunately we do not win. We lose by points, but again, very close game, guys. Look at that. It came down to the wire where we had to actually battles that actually last the full about 15 to 12 minutes. I think the games last 15 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong. How long did that last? Yeah, full 12 minutes. So the battles only last 12 minutes. So they're short, but they actually last, as opposed to, you saw my previous videos where they last only 6 minutes. So very, very fun, engaging. Number one in the team right there. We did our part. Look at that, all that damage, and we had a blast. I had fun. I mean, regardless of what you're thinking, if this is not for you, it is still fun because I'm just shooting and selecting targets. All right, last battleship. You guessed it. Let's talk about the Libertad. Let's see how it plays up in the new Unbreakable Line. All right, you guessed it. There it is, the king of secondaries. And I don't know, again, like, I think that this might be dethroned again by the Schlieffen, but again, let me know what you think. Is the Libertad actually still the king of secondaries in this mode? Schlieffen actually held up a good competitive battle right there, but let's see if Libertad actually can do it. Libertad, the gimmick is the funny button, which really allows it to extend its range out to about 14-ish kilometers, really long and a great accuracy. 20% reload, 20% fire range, and secondary damage also goes up to 30%. Very, very incredible, and it just fills up just by shooting people, so credible. It's got decent heals, damage con, so forth, but long reload time with the main guns. But man, oh man, let's see if we can get this thing rocking and rolling with the secondaries again. You're actually going to see the secondaries actually citadel a cruiser at close range. So, I mean, they're kind of like Goliath guns on the side of a Libertad hull. So, fantastic caliber guns. And notice I just pinned everything. Look at that. We're pinning a Napoli. This closes ranges for phenomenal, phenomenal guns. Look at the damage we're doing against a Napoli. Really, really incredible right there. I like the fact that Libertad can really come in, duke it out, hold its own. You angle this thing, it really can deflect a lot of shells. It's like literally an armadillo. This thing has got it's kind of like a Napoli in a sense. It's so hard to kill and penetrate. If you just got to find the right angle, and you got to maneuver against Libertad. But by doing that, you're exposing yourself. So, man, it is difficult sometimes to go against Libertad. I actually played a couple games of Valparaiso on this thing, which is a zombie ship. We don't have to talk about it. It's just overpowered. It survives just fine in this mode. But we're trying out different battleships here to see what people want to try out and get. You can get the Libertad, you can get the Ohio, you can get the Schlieffen. So definitely encourage you to try those out. Just look at the engagement here. Look at that Napoli. Oh, 6,000 damage right there just with the secondaries right there alone. And okay, this is where I love the brawling aspect. Okay, I got Napoli on my right. I got a GK and a Prussian pushing on my left. So I got to stay angled to them on the left. I got to stay angled to the Napoli on the right, watching the torpedoes. And then I got to think about, after I kill the Napoli here, I've got to start maneuvering to engage the other battleships on my left. So, all right, here's the final shot we're going to do right here. We're going to start angling towards the battleships on my port. left port side right there, and look at the secondaries right there, and yes, we take out the Napoli right there. And all right, now moving against the Prussian. First kill right there, 101,000 damage already, ladies and gents. And now we're going to see if we can get the gun swinging back over to the Prussian right here. And we got to angle, make sure he doesn't take our Citadel. And we got another GK right behind him as well, so we got to figure out how do we kill 2 ships right here and angle and survive the long haul. All right, aiming right underneath his turrets right there. That'll give me a sweet spot shot right there. Nice. About 13. We'll take it. 13,000-ish damage. We got secondary F key, funny button right there. Now, the problem with the secondaries up close, it's aiming at the center of the ship based on the AI, and then it's trying to hit the bulk of the armor there, which is bad. Ooh, 36,000 damage. He gets a nice heal. That was my bad on that part. Very bad angling. Not after we exchange a good salvo shot right there. Yeah, the secondaries, they don't shoot the superstructure at these close ranges, so you're not getting as many pins. So that's the bad part about it. But it's okay. We'll use the main battery guns. Take out the Prussian right there. Now we're onto the GK. A little further out, we can get the secondaries to actually engage and hit the hull of the GK and actually penetrate some of his armor at these further out ranges. But up close, we're hitting too much of that armor belt that just doesn't pin enough. So that's why we got to ensure that we get enough separation to maximize the damage on the ship. We're going to get all our guns on the left here to get a nice shot on our GK. Look, notice I'm looking behind me, making sure, hey, there's Moscow there. I got to angle to him, get ready to kill that guy after we kill the GK right here. So we got to get a nice sweet spot shot right here. And look at that. Oh my goodness. All that damage taken off of him. Now we got to hope that his guns are not reloading in time. We're going to hopefully get a heal back as we come back around. Let me notice I got the Napoli and Moscow around this island, so I got to make sure I got to get them ready. We pop the funny button again. 221,000 damage, 1.4 million potential there. And, ooh, let's see. Oh, we got a help from our Moscow. Hopefully he can take out the GK to help us out and keep us alive. Our heal's coming back off cooldown 30 seconds. His guns are looking at us. Come on, fire. Can we kill him? And we get that kill. Last desperate shot from the back turrets. Back turret, best turret, right? All right, Moscow's coming up on the right here, and he's looking at us. He could get a nice shot into us, but we get a nice Citadel shot right there. And look at the secondaries. Watch this. I believe we get a secondary on this. Oh, look at that right there. Actually, that was a main battery gun. Not my bad. I thought that was a secondary Citadel. I got confused, but that was a main battery shot. We get one last shot into the Moscow that keeps us alive to kill him and takes him off the battlefield right there. Kleber is opening up to us with torpedoes. Look at that maneuverability of the Libertad. Very, very effective against dodging. Man, just look at the amount of secondaries we're plowing into the Kleber. It is just too much firepower for him to bear. We get our heal back just in time to bring us back and keep us alive as a zombie ship. And, oh my goodness, all the secondaries plowing right in the Kleber right here. It doesn't matter how much maneuvering he does. We're keeping him at bay, and he goes down. Look at all those secondary shots. Accuracy and firepower. Caliber taking it up to 4 kills now. 276,000 damage. And now we got a GK, Moscow, and a Prussian to deal with right here. I don't know if we can survive this one, but we'll try to survive as long as we can to hold him off. Torpedo. Oh, man, this torpedo is going to take us out. So Kleber gets a last parting shot with the torpedo, so he's got a last stand right there, and he takes us down. Not after we put a valiant effort holding off the eastern flank right there. And let's see, right off the bat, GK is coming in. Let's see if we can push back in, move forward. All right, now we're engaging the Prussian right up the channel right here, and let's see if we can hold him off and secure the win. We're only about 90 points away from winning. If we can hold this advance off and hold Alpha Cap, we can basically win this on points. So again, Libertad, phenomenal ship. I still think Schlieffen does a better job of rapid fire and penetration, reloads, and everything. Libertad's more of that long range, heavy caliber spamming that can be effective, but for these kind of close engagements, I think Schlieffen shines a lot better, especially with the torpedoes. Libertad, again, is that more of that standoff role and kind of a tanker, if you will. So very, very good in that regard. A little bit more HP than Schlieffen. So, again, what do you guys think? Do you like Libertad more? You like Schlieffen, Ohio? There's tons of more ships to try out. We got GK on the horizon here. We got to take a look at that one. We bring that one back, and we win the game. A lot of battleships to try out. Cruisers I've been trying out as well. I mean, we can try all types of ships in these modes. These modes are so fun. But as always, Bill will be at the end of the video for all these ships that I played. Hope you guys are doing well. If you see me out there, make sure you say hello. Enjoy and try out Unbreakable Line, asymmetric. We'll do a video about asymmetric, see how it's playing out right now. But man, oh man, do we having some fun. 133,000 damage on the secondaries, fires, and tons of shell hits right there. A lot of potential damage. That means we're doing our job as a battleship, being that punching bag in World of Warships. Until next time, you guys stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.